Attention. Due to the nature of the films discussed, the Civil Gore podcast may contain adult language and themes.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to episode 43 of the Civil Gore podcast. I am your host, Tim.
And this is Brian, and we have a classic. We're going back to the classics.
Yeah, we're doing another early 80s film, and this is one I had not seen that Brian recommended, and I ended up really liking this movie.
See, I paid it backwards. You know how you say pay it forward? I paid it backwards because Tim's always giving me these great movies, the classic movies that he's seen that I have never seen. So I gave him one back, and this is when we get into it in the main deep dive section. But this is one that I've always had on my list as one of my favorite slashers. And I say slasher, and it's a unique slasher, but we'll get into that more. But it's always been in one of my favorite lists, and I'm glad we got to finally cover it on the show.
Yeah, it actually was kind of a good fit for this month because we didn't actually plan the theme this month, but we've kind of stumbled into a theme of these early 80s slashers, with the exception of New Year's Evil. That one was holiday themed, but both Terror Train and Curtains to me are really underrated. I loved both of those, and
right, yeah.
I was kind of surprised I had not seen Curtains before.
Yeah, maybe we'll just call this now Underrated January.
Yeah, yes. New Year's Evil does not fall into that at all.
Yeah, that's underwhelming January, I guess, for that one. But yeah, like you said, though, that's a holiday one, so that gets a pass.
Yeah. Well, let's get right into it. We have a bunch of stuff to discuss in our first chop. Okay, so the Backlog project keeps on going, but Brian, I had a really good week last week. Well, karma has a way of biting you, and the old wheel wasn't as lucky this week.
Well, you gave me the Paul Nashy, so you now have to expect it to what the wheel giveth, the wheel taketh away.
Exactly. So the two discs it landed on were two discs that I had not purchased. These were part of a horror pack subscription, which I had, about a year, maybe over a year ago. I tried it out just for a few months just to kind of kickstart my collection. And what Horror Pack is a monthly subscription service, but instead of like a box of loot, you instead get a number of Blu-rays. And you could choose either Blu-rays or DVDs, but they're all horror titles. And
you hit both of them? Both of them hit from that thing?
Yeah.
On the wheels? Oh
yeah.
My God. Wow.
So, I mean, it's not, I'm not saying it's a bad deal because it's, if you want to just jumpstart your horror collection, just get a bunch of discs, because you're definitely not going to pay more than what you would probably pay retail. You're at least going to break even every month. But as you might expect, if they're handing out, like 4 Blu-rays a month for, I can't remember what it was, like $20 or $30, whatever, you're going to have some kind of clunkers in there, some cheap disc. And both of these happen to be on the kind of a cheap, low budget side of things. I ended up canceling my Horror Pack subscription because of that.
Because of these specifically?
Yeah, well, not specifically, but it was just because it's random. You don't know what you're getting. You could get a disc you already have. And while I did get some good disc out of it, I just realized that I would rather spend that same $20 on a special edition title that I really want than 3 or 4 crap titles that I don't really care about. So
that's true, because you never know when that New Year's Evil Scream Factory edition is gonna explode out onto the scene, and you're gonna need the cash for that one.
Now I will say, in all fairness, I have not done the Horror Pack subscription in a while. They may have gotten better, and I do know that they now include a limited edition or a special edition disc in every pack, which may sweeten the pot a little more. So I can't speak to what the service is like now. This was back early on when they were first kind of starting, so it may have improved. So don't take my word for it that it's not worth it. I don't know at this point if it is.
And it's funny you mentioned it, because I saw through Facebook, it was one of those sponsored ads about Horror Pack today. Actually, as I was scrolling through, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe I should take a look at that. And I forgot that you had said you had tried that, so maybe that was a sign for me to try it.
Yeah, it would be worth trying again just to see. I'd like to, or maybe go out and just read some reviews of recent shipments.
Oh, right.
Because you go back and see, like, YouTube always posts these unopening videos of what they got in the last few months. That might be interesting to go look and see if it might be something worth checking out again.
And we would have to start doing our own little videos on our YouTube channel, our Civil Gore YouTube.
Yeah, that's actually this year, Brian, is one of the things I really wanted to do is either like a Loot Crate subscription. I mean, not Loot Crate because I don't think they have a horror specific, but some kind of horror subscription, loot box, DVD box, whatever, something horror related, so that we could do unopening episodes and videos. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah. Oh, and I know this is not on the rundown, just kind of in a quick tangent away. We did start, we don't have anything much on there yet, but we did create a Civil Gore login now for IMDb. So we're going to start doing our own lists and reviews, and Tim had the great idea of actually putting a list together of all the films that we did on the podcast as a great, as some lists. We could, I guess we could break it up even, do the list of all the ones we kept as deep dives, ones that we mentioned just casually that we saw, or ones that stood out. We can make lists of that for you guys to ever if you ever just want to catch up. And it'll be good when we do this year's horror challenge again for October. And I'm ready for this one because I plan on not moving during that month again. And I embarrassed myself last year. I need to come back strong.
Yeah. And now the pressure's on to me because I completed last year's, so I have to complete it again. I can't drop the ball this year.
Yeah, you and Cody. Cody's like gunning for your title.
That's right. I'm about to stay one step ahead.
Yeah.
But anyway, the two movies I saw, and I'll just talk about them one at a time. The first one was Volumes of Blood from 2015, and I was looking forward to this one because it is an anthology, and I love my anthologies. But when it started, I realized this was a very, very low budget production, and these are the kind of movies I hate to review because the people who made them obviously had passion for the genre. Their heart's in the right place. They're doing the best they can with the little money they can. And I don't want to disparage that because that's awesome. I love indie filmmaking. I like that people are going out there and doing this stuff, that they have that drive. So I don't want to just like crap all over their movie because I applaud what they're doing. The problem is I also, by the same token, can't say that I enjoyed something that I didn't. I mean, no. I have to be honest.
That's just a disservice if you were gonna just like smatter it. I mean, praise it for no reason. You praise it for and say, oh, it's great, because you don't want to make someone feel bad. Well, that's just gonna have a lot of people go in there and then end up disappointed, which may make them not like it at all. It's as you rather have them like just kind of be honest and let people decide if they want to go see it.
Yeah. Now I will say for the level of budget and acting and that kind of thing, the student film type quality of the movie, it did have some entertaining ideas. The stories and things they had some cool elements, but ultimately I was just kind of bored with it. It all takes place in kind of one location, obviously because of budget. It was like it was filmed in a library, I think.
Bob's house.
Some school library. Obviously, it's amateur actors and things. Amateur effects and stuff. So again, I don't want to disparage the movie, but I was kind of expecting a little higher budget production based on the artwork and the reviews and everything on the case, but it turned out to be. I have to give that one a pass, unfortunately. And then the other one was kind of along the same lines. Now, this one was a bit bigger budget, and this one was Zombie Diaries 2. It was
a sequel, so it obviously did something right?
I've never seen Zombie Diaries 1, so I said, you know what? I'm just going to wing it.
Yeah. Something tells me you're probably okay.
I think I'm going to be all right. And, of course, I was. Now, this one is, as you might expect from the diaries in the title, it's kind of a first-person shot zombie movie, which is basically, it's Walking Dead. It's 28 Days Later. It's every zombie movie you've ever seen from a first-person handheld camera perspective. And it's these soldiers are kind of making this journey from one base to another or something. I honestly can't remember the plot because it was like every other zombie movie out there.
Yeah.
And I just have to say, now this one was from 2011, to be fair. So this was 7 years ago now. But I would just be happy if every indie filmmaker would just stop making zombie movies. Just stop. Just stop. It's done. I'm so so tired of zombies. I can't stand it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while, someone will come up with a nice little like wrinkle
Yeah.
in it, but even so, it's still the same.
Oh my god. Well, the problem
thing,
is,
yeah.
and I really think Walking Dead ruined zombie movies because I have not seen anything without the possible exception of Train to Busan, which is really cool.
Which has a sequel. Did you see that? It's an animated sequel.
Yeah,
though, but...
I think it's a prequel actually.
Oh, prequel. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Prequel.
But
yes.
with maybe that possible exception, everything you can do in a zombie movie has probably already been done, and probably already been done better on The Walking Dead. Their gore effects are just as good as what I've seen in a lot of these movies. The characters are better because they've had 8 seasons to develop them, so you're not going to get that in a 2-hour feature film. Yeah. So I'm kind of done with the whole zombie thing. If that makes me a bad horror fan, so be it. But I'm ready for something new.
No, I think people have probably a lot of people are feeling that way because how much zombies can you get? I mean, but you know what hasn't been done yet, as far as I know yet. They need to do not so much like the airplane movies, but when they were doing those things like disaster movie and extreme movie, those or what was that? Not just another teen movie. They need one just called zombie movie where they just poke fun of all of it.
But even then,
one big shot.
Even then, you could argue stuff like Shaun of the Dead has kind of already done that.
Yeah,
not to the same degree, but it is a comedy. So
that's true. Yeah, I don't really know. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine something that I'm trying to think now, and I can't think of anything that you could put in a zombie film that hasn't been done. Although I will say one of the ones I liked recently out of all of them was Maggie, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Did you see that one?
Yeah, that one was good, and that
was good.
That brings to mind I might watch a movie with all zombie children.
Right. Oh, that might be interesting.
That would be creepy.
But then again, remember that movie The Children back in the day? That was kind of, and then they made a remake of that too. It was kind of zombie-ish, where they were too close to, I guess, the nuclear plant or whatever, and they came back with the fingernails were dark film.
Although I did read a book. This was several years ago. I read a book, and gosh, I can't remember the name of it. Sorry, guys. This has been a while, but it was technically a zombie novel, I guess you could say. But what happened is all the adults got this disease that basically was like rage zombies. They weren't really, I don't think they were undead, but they just went crazy and killed and then they would kill everybody. Sort of like 28 Days Later. But so only the kids were left untouched. So then you kind of set up this zombie versus Lord of the Flies type scenario.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, where now you had the kids trying to form their own societies and protect each other, but they're also battling each other because they're kids, and it was a neat idea. I would like to see something like that. Maybe would be cool.
Yeah, but, who knows? Maybe how about just a zombie podcast host? If they did maybe that could go that way. I don't know.
Well, sometimes I feel like that anyway.
True. Yeah, there's been days where we've been doing the show, and I'm just like, I've had a long day at work, and I'm just like, and I'm like, oh my god, I even sound like one,
Oh, but anyway, we have some cool Cloverfield news.
Yeah. So actually, I the other day I was actually off from work, and so it turned out I was. I had seen a lot of Cloverfield stuff because it happened to be the 10th anniversary. So I actually watched the original. I was watching some movies that day, and I watched that just because I forgot how much I really loved that movie. It was so great because to take essentially a monster movie and put it in the found footage style the way they did. Also, that movie Monster was good. Monsters. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Monsters was good. And so that kind of stuff, that I like those kind of little twists on those type of things. So it was really great. But they started the new viral campaign for the new movie, which originally was called God Particle, and I think it got delayed a couple of times already, and now it's slated for this April, but with a title change possibly, because some people found sites registered and various little hints. It might be called Cloverfield Station. So I still think it's the same plot of it being kind of in space. I don't want to know too much about it. Because especially the best thing about these Cloverfield films is is the mysterious element to it. The marketing is so expertly done to the point of where you know just enough to get you wanting to see it, but you don't know what's going on. And I guess so. That Tegruto, which is that company that kind of connects all the things together. That's they started that site again, so you can do that. Like, the viral campaign has started with the game, like some kind of game, and when you find hidden clues about it and stuff like that. So it's all kind of fun. So that basically started. So we have to put the link up. I know I shared it on our Facebook page already by the time you hear this, but maybe we'll have to put it down in the rundown just so you can check out the site and participate in the hype.
Yeah, I love how they do those Cloverfield movies, and like you don't even know one's coming out hardly until like right before it drops.
Yeah,
at least with the last one.
Yeah, and I remember the first one. My friend Mark was like, "Oh my god, I saw the coolest trailer," and I'm like, "Well, what was it?" And he goes, "Because I don't know what because remember they didn't have a title at that point, so and it was like he said, I think it's called Bad Robot." He got confused because it was it had the Bad Robot, and I'm like. I said, huh? I said, I didn't even hear of this. He goes, yeah, no. And it's like, and he told me about how, they had the trailer where the Statue of Liberty head comes rolling down and thrown down there. And then it just says the the date, whatever it was. I forgot, 119. I don't know. And so I'm like, and so everyone thought that was the name of the film for a while. And then it wasn't until almost right before it came out when they listed it as Cloverfield. And I'm like, what the heck is that kind of name? Yeah, I had no clue.
Oh, I didn't even know until I was sitting in the theater and I had no clue what that movie was going to be.
Oh, really?
I had not read anything about it. We went in completely cold and I knew it. I had seen enough of the trailer. That's about it. I'd seen a little bit of the teaser trailer, but I had no idea what I was getting into.
Oh, and it was yeah. See, and I saw that opening night. It was so great. I had so much fun. I usually pretty much end up watching it. I think once a year. It just turns out at least. And so yeah, so that it's such a fun movie to watch because it's so like. And I just love how you get like these little glimpses of the monster, yet it's like you could tell they didn't like skimp out on the effect, like when you would see him from the side, and I mean I tell you that the whole sequence with the bridge is just so iconic, and the found footage can sometimes doesn't work for a movie. This works so great because the way they did it was just you were in the middle of it at all times, and seeing that on a big screen is crazy. It's so cool.
Now, speaking of that, are you a fan of the Pacific Rim?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that, the sequel to that too.
Now it looks a lot more. I mean, I guess the first one was action oriented. This one looks like they're really upping the action element of it versus.
Plus, you got John Boyega in this one.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one.
So yeah, this is those anything basically anything with like giant like creatures or like things like that. I just eat up. I don't know why. I just love it. Like the Godzilla movies. And that was another thing. Remember, a lot of people thought that J.J. Abrams was doing a top secret Godzilla movie because you would hear the sound effects and the different things, and you couldn't quite place what you saw, and it was great. So
I'm so looking forward to that new Godzilla with the they're gonna have everything, Mothra and all that stuff. That just sounds so cool. I can't wait.
Yeah, and then 2020 is Kong vs. Godzilla, which
oh my gosh,
I am so there opening night for that one.
Now we did find out some more Halloween news, which we seem to have come rolling in every week now.
Oh yeah,
but Brian wants me to take a road trip down to South Carolina.
Yeah,
let's maybe sneak onto the set.
Don't you guys want to see like Tim in the background of one of these scenes? Come on. He's got his horror cred. He should be allowed in there.
Yeah. Oh, we'll just use our Civil Gore press credentials. There we go.
That's true.
I don't know why I'm trying to sneak in. I can just flash my badge.
Yeah. Silly, that's right. We got those fancy business cards and shirts, and yeah, there you go.
Sure, Danny McBride will just roll out the red carpet for us.
Well, yeah, why not? We haven't insulted him on the show at all, as far as I know. In fact, we've been nothing but praising him. He should have invited us by now. Actually.
Oh my God! Speaking of him, have you seen the Crocodile Dundee trailer?
I haven't, but I saw it like today. Like they added, was it Chris Hemsworth?
Oh my God! I was like, are you kidding me? This is crazy.
This is gonna be pretty funny. Some people think it's fake. Is it fake or real? I haven't.
People don't know. I don't think people know yet.
Well, if let's put it this way, it's not outlandish that this would be a real movie.
Like if I was going to do a true Crocodile Dundee sequel, this is the way I would do it. I would go full on parody.
Oh
because
yeah.
By this point, the movie you don't have the culture around that movie like you do Ghostbusters or something like that you don't something sacred you don't want to touch.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
people are fans of the movie, but it's also it's a child of the 80s. You know, it's like Short Circuit or something. It's not like this. To me, there's room to poke fun at it.
Yeah, and I don't think you're going to get today, people are just so jaded. They're not that heartwarming-y, kind of lovable, like, Australian guy coming out. I don't think it's going to work.
You couldn't make a straight sequel to that.
No, it would be mocked and joked and criticized and not give it its fair shake. So, yeah, this is the way to go if you're going to do that. But they have to include that's a knife in there somewhere. Yeah, they have to, right?
Well, he did it kind of in the trailer. I don't know.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, he does mention that.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's people that love Danny McBride and people that hate him, and I fall firmly on the love side. Like I think he's hilarious. I know, he kind of plays the same character in every movie, but I don't care. Like I think that character is hilarious. So I don't. It's sort of like Will Ferrell. People think Will Ferrell plays the same guy in every. I don't care. I like that guy.
Yeah, if you like it, why not?
Yeah,
right?
Just keep playing that guy. I'm fine with that. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel with him. But anyway, yeah, so Smith's Grove casting for Halloween 2018, and they're filming in South Carolina now. Yeah,
so supposedly, we're looking, I guess, for people to be in I guess I forgot the exact wording of how they said it, but basically the article I read implies that it's, they're probably most likely it's going to be Smith's Grove facility again, which led me to thinking, I'm like, this movie is really, it's almost like the Force Awakens horror version of it, how you're bringing back after years you're bringing back the classic character again. I mean, yes, I know she was in Halloween Resurrection, Jamie Lee Curtis, but it seemed like it was like she was kind of just thrown in there to quickly to kind of finish her story off, and then it went to the Rob Zombie, and it kind of the series kind of went on this weird ending moment. It seemed like, so this seems like, and what they're doing is basically making it kind of like that direct sequel. It kind of feels like it's, if you scramble up all the crazy timelines in the middle of it, but you just go from here to here. You kind of have that Force Awakens feel of how wow, look, they're bringing in some new characters, but you got the old ones in there, and the old sets, and it's like Smith Grove is like the Millennium Falcon, and. So it kind of made me think, it's like now, we've already kind of predicted these trends, possibly what this could cause. But it makes me think, do you think now this will alter these trends in a way where, if they do end up with the new Friday the 13th, are they going to pull back, the Tommy Jarvis? Are they going to bring back or Tina? Those characters that, that people love, to kind of really, just throw the nostalgia right in your face, or and if they did a new Nightmare on Elm Street, even if Robert Englund is done and they don't get him as the Freddy in it, but they still keep the same original storyline, and Nancy or Alice comes back,
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if this could actually, if they see this and it's as successful as I think it will be, if that's the way they're going to start to go, is literally do this whole, I'm going to nickname it almost the Force Awakens formula, the nostalgia of
I hope so.
Bringing it back.
I would be all over that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could kind of say it's, I guess if people didn't see this yet, to see the Never Hike Alone one, turn it off for about 2 seconds when I do this, but obviously, remember, they included Tommy in that, and which was epic, a sequence in it, so it's that's going to be successful if they bring the characters that people love back, so...
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to that. I mean, that's probably, aside from the Star Wars Han Solo movie, it's probably one of my most anticipated movies this year for sure.
Oh, easily. Yeah, it's like I'm not that excited as I would be after I saw the trailer for Jurassic World 2.
No,
that would have been up there, but then Ready Player One is up there for sure.
Yeah, that's a big one.
But and that's coming soon actually, which is great. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a great year for anticipated movies. I'll tell you that. So it's and then isn't this year's Avengers is coming out this year, right?
Yeah, the Infinity
and Deadpool
War stuff,
and
there's
so
a lot of good
stuff.
stuff. Black Panther, I'm looking forward.
Oh
to.
right, Black Panther. The Wonder Woman sequel is next year, right? That's 2019.
Yeah, I believe that's next year.
So yeah, but I'll tell you though, this Halloween, the I don't know what they did. They actually have official title yet, or still they're just calling it Halloween Returns or Halloween 2018, right? Is kind of like the nicknames?
I don't know if I've heard an official title yet. So, but I am gonna, man. Me and Olivia have been using our Movie Pass because she got hers in the mail finally.
Oh right.
So now we both got it. Yeah, it's awesome now. So it's on. It's on.
I still got to sign up for that. I still did not do that.
Yeah,
yet.
we went and saw Jumanji the other day. Which was really, really good. It was really good.
Yeah, I gotta see that. I'm probably just gonna wait. It'll probably come. I'll probably wait and get it.
Oh yeah, that's not what you need to see in the theater by any means, but it's for just a family friendly, fun time at the movies kind of thing. It's awesome.
Family friendly fun. So Tim's got the 3 Fs when he's not a Civil Gore podcast host.
Yeah, when I'm not doing the 3 Bs, I'm doing the 3 Fs when I'm
3 Fs
when I'm in G-rated mode or PG mode.
Yeah, when he's a family man, he does that.
A family man. And then the next up, we have was news to me. The Devil's Rejects sequel, possibly called The Devil's Rejects 3 from Hell.
This was from for Bloody Disgusting, by the way. So these facts are from them.
Yeah, we didn't do the research ourselves. No. We just stole it. I'm really looking forward to this because, as I said, I'm a Rob Zombie apologist, even though I don't support everything he's done.
Right.
And I've criticized 31. I've criticized the Halloween remakes, but man, that's one series, House of 1,000 Corpses and Devil's Rejects, that I still absolutely love. So I am looking forward to a sequel to that.
Oh yeah, he hit the series right. Like he's hitting the right notes on these. So yeah, this one I'm again looking really forward to this one.
That might be a great episode, Brian. Go back and do those 2 films.
Right. Yeah, we didn't do. I mean, technically, could it? I don't know if it's like Summer Slaycation style because there's only 2 of them, and even with this one, it'll be 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that could make a nice little. Maybe we'll do maybe we have to do like a month of like just like. Onesie twosie things like with it's just a sequel kind of thing, like really smaller.
We could either do a we could either do a Rob Zombie month where we could do House, Devil's Rejects, and then like 31 or Lords of Salem or.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, we don't need to do the Halloween remakes again.
No, not that.
But that would be 4 right there.
By the way, I think we've said zombie now a record amount of times on this episode.
Oh my god, yeah. I had to put keyword zombie in the iTunes tag.
Yeah, seriously.
It applies so many times. Yeah. That might be good. Or we could do, if we did like a month of double featers.
Oh, something. Right, yeah.
Because we have so much time to do all this.
I know, right? We already got the summer months are pretty much taken. February, we pretty much have all planned already. Yeah, we've got some fun surprises in February too.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
we won't reveal yet.
No, we won't. But one surprise maybe is Monster Mania.
Yeah, we have to. I know I touched on it, I think, last week. So I definitely are planning to go to this because there are some. It's funny. Okay, so there are some epic horror guests on that. There was John Carpenter. There's I think 4 or 5 different Jasons, I believe. I think maybe it's 4. And they're coming in costume, which is pretty cool. So you can get literally there's a photo opportunity where you can get all the Jasons with you. Let's see, who else was there? Like Sean Astin is mentioned.
Ali Sheedy.
And there's someone that I just keep forgetting on this list. I can't imagine who I'm forgetting, though. Can you remember? You looked at that list with me, right? Oh, yeah, there's Tim Curry, too.
Yeah.
The cast of It. And, yes. It's me, Richard Dreyfuss.
Yes.
How could you forget me? I haven't gone away. Yes, folks, believe it or not, Richard Dreyfuss is going to appear at Monster Mania.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
yeah.
Could you... that is just too perfect that he's got to be there. Now, of course, obviously... If we encounter him, we're probably going to have to hide the fact that we've ever mentioned his name because he does have that cease and desist out for us. So
I don't know if we're going to be even allowed in the assembly hall or whatever.
Yeah, they may spot us. Yeah, if they spot us from a distance, I don't know.
We're going to have our pictures up there like they do with people that write bad checks.
Right.
Like, don't
People are
let
going to
them-
think, yeah, and they're going to think we're like guests there because they're going to just have those photos up of the people that are performing. And it'll be us there, but it'll be like, no, do not let these people in. Do not get their autographs or anything. Yeah. And also, well, Tony Todd's there and Sid Haig. We can hang out with them.
Yeah.
And although we're probably relegated to the room with Grant Kramer from New Year's Evil.
I want to hang out
Probably
with
get stuck with
Kathleen
him.
Turner.
Yeah,
I bet
right?
she's
That's
fun to
an
hang out with.
interesting guest to be there. I mean,
Yeah.
she's been in some great stuff, so.
Well, she was in Serial Mom. That's her. I guess that's her
Yeah.
kind of a horror credit.
But I mean, Jessica Rabbit. She was
Mm-hmm.
in. What was the other one she was in? A Man with Two Brains. That was another classic.
We got,
obviously the Romancing the Stone series, which I loved growing up.
Gosh, I'm gonna murder his name. Joe Pantoliano.
Just say Joey Pants.
Joey
is
Pants.
good
Yeah,
enough.
from Goonies. Joey Pants.
Yeah, there's a nice little Goonies thing there. You get him and Sean Astin. You get to sign the same thing.
Although if I meet Sean Astin, I'm going to tell him that I don't care about. I love Goonies. Don't get me wrong. I love Rudy. I love Lord of the Rings. But the best movie he's ever done is by far Whitewater Summer.
Oh, that's right. You love that one. That's
love
right.
Whitewater
I
Summer.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. So he will know that somebody out there loves Whitewater Summer. Particularly my brother Kevin is he's the huge Whitewater Summer fan. We were both fans of it growing up, but Kevin's the only one that rented out a movie screen for his birthday to watch Whitewater Summer.
See, you need to bring Kevin then, of course, to this. I mean, he missed out on. Oh God, what's her face from?
What's her face?
I can't believe I forgot her name.
Maximum
Laura
Overdrive. Yeah.
Harrington, from Maximum Overdrive. He missed her. I did get him his autograph, but he didn't get to see her. So this is the one they did. Oh, and I was right. It was actually. So it looks like actually there's 6 possible. There's 6 Jasons there now.
Oh my God, a Killer Clowns reunion.
Yeah, Tony Todd, of course. That's a great one. So yeah, and and of course, now you can always get those V.I. Warshawski DVDs you wanted signed. For Kathleen. But yeah, I've never been to Monster Mania. I'm gonna reach out to my friend Abby, who actually was she's been a regular here. She's gone to this convention a lot, so she knows it really well. So she promised she'd show me around here with some of the the nuances. I've been to Chiller a bunch of times. I've never been to this show. I've always wanted to go, so this will be good. She's a big horror fan and she knows the convention circuits really well, so this should be pretty cool. So yeah, but of course Richard Dreyfuss just changes everything, I think.
Yeah, like I told Brian, it's fate.
I know. God. Yeah, we can't say that there. It's like I'm gonna be afraid. Like I'm gonna slip out. Like if I see him there, I'm gonna slip out with like an impromptu like thing out of nerves.
I couldn't even talk to the beer's getting to me. The dude that does the special effects. Oh my gosh.
Tom Savini.
Tom Savini. Yeah. I couldn't even talk to him. Like, how am I going to talk to Sean Astin?
Oh, we'll have to bring Seth. Seth has no qualms about. He doesn't get nervous talking to anybody. He's got all the bravado you can imagine. He just walks up and he'll just next thing you know you'll be having beers with Sean Astin at the after party.
Yeah, he's the icebreaker. He's the breaker.
Yeah, Seth is the icebreaker. Yeah, he will. He'll just go right up to him and be like, if you don't say anything, he'll say it for you. Trust me. So
that's awesome.
So it's good. I mean, Seth was. I told you he was amazing at Chiller. He's literally. I'm just I get involved and I'm looking around and I start talking to the person. I'll go off topic. Next thing I know, Seth's flipping out all our cards out of his hands, and how D. Wallace ended up with our card too.
That's
awesome. Pretty cool. Yeah. So this is something we got. Yeah, we gotta somehow definitely make it down to Monster Mania to see Richard Dreyfuss, and I just have to keep focusing like that. I don't ever have done an imitation of him. I don't know even how. I don't even know what this man says.
We don't even know what he's in. We have no clue who this guy is.
Yeah, I mean, Goodbye Girl, right? That's all he was in, right?
Yeah,
that's all I remember him in.
Yeah, maybe Close Encounters, way back something. Maybe.
Oh, true. Yeah, I think he did something like that, or Yeah, now it's funny though. All kidding aside, if I think back to the movies he's been in, he literally has been in some of my favorite movies of all time. So there would be some little bit of starstruckness on a serious level if I ever got to meet him, because there's so many things he's done. I mean, American Graffiti, Jaws, Close Encounters.
Mr. Holland's Opus is a great movie.
Oh my God, yeah, even that, yeah. I mean, Okay, so he did moon over Parador. Big deal. Everyone's
everybody's allowed
to
a
have
clunker
a
once in a
dud.
while.
Yeah. No, actually, it wasn't even that bad. I'm just so.
I'd be
but,
scared
yeah.
he was gonna like be mean to me or something. I don't know. I just feel like he's just.
Well, that's always the fear about these things. But you know what? Every time I've been there, I've never, other than Peter Mayhew being really rude to us once, I've never really encountered any of the celebrities that have been like anything less than like as awesome as you would imagine.
Because they're there. I mean, if they didn't want to be there to meet people, you would think they just wouldn't go, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can't go to that thing and not expect to see like some crazy people. Like I know that story, like the one with where like poor Martin Cove, right, from Kreese from the Karate Kid. He's sitting there, signing autographs, and some guy like runs up right up to him and goes, "Oh my God, you are the shit!" Like exactly like that. And like the look on his face, it was like I think he would have like wished he was in any other movie for a split second. But seriously, yeah, but he was so friendly and so nice, and it's
but
like
in
weird.
fact, that's probably works to your advantage because if you are like a normal person that's not going to be weird, they probably like love that. Like, oh my God, thank God, a normal person that's not going to freak out on me.
Yeah, no, I mean like Steve Cohn and I one time we went to see, I think it was a Comic-Con where it was right after Heroes was huge, and Hayden Panettiere was there signing, and that was like she was one of the main guests, and we went up, and I figured like I'm just used to, I'm like, okay, she's getting huge here, she's gonna literally just sign this thing and move on. And Steve had asked her a question, and she went into like a 10-minute thing to the point of we started walking away because we thought we were like felt awkward, but she was still talking to us about like, she goes, oh no, like as sweet as can be. So it's like you never know, and like or like the one that played young Aunt Beru, Bonnie Peace, I probably pronounced her name, or P.S. I'm not sure. Mark, my friend Mark and I were there, and she was at a table. There was no one really there, and we just started talking to her about Star Wars, and she was saying how she was so bummed at that point they didn't have a figure of her and stuff. So it's like, yeah, some of them, they really just will love to engage in conversation because they know that you're a fan, and they're there because there's a demand for them to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Man, I would love to go to one of these. I've never been to a big convention like this.
Well, that one near you is getting some pretty big cred there. You got Robert Englund coming.
Yeah, I got Robert Englund. One of the Jasons is coming, and Nick Castle from Halloween is coming.
I mean,
That's a huge. Now this one is not the same one. It is Mad Monster Party, but it's not in the same venue. This seems to be a bigger venue. This one is in Charlotte proper, not Rock Hill. So, so I think that it's a bigger venue with bigger guests. So I would love to go to that one, but all these conventions are falling in the same time period.
Con season, right all around.
Yeah,
it's like that February to April is like seems like they throw
it's
a
going to
ton
be
in.
rough. So it's going to be hard, really hard to make that. Although I would love to get that Robert Englund photo op as Freddy because he's doing a full makeup photo op. But,
oh wow, yeah, and you can't imagine that's going to continue for very long.
No, but I don't know. It's going to be tough to try to squeeze that in among every other trip. Plus, budget wise, these things are expensive. Yeah. Especially if you want pictures, you start getting some money.
Yeah, although I will say Richard Dreyfuss comes in at a very respectable $60.
$60, it would be done. No questions asked. Take my money.
Which is great because we're going to need that extra for the bail money that when we get to.
That's assuming we don't have a restraining order by the time we get there. So
true. Well, that's why we'll just have to have Seth go in there for us.
Well, just bring out like a really good zoom lens so that we can stay behind the 300 yards or whatever.
Oh, right,
for the restraining
right,
order, but still get we'll take we'll have him way in the background.
Yeah, we'll have him wave to us. But okay.
Oh my gosh!
Just increasing the distance there with that one.
Now it's 450 yards.
Yeah, it'll be 1,000 feet by the time the con comes.
All right, well, let's get into our fun-filled, kind of weird this week dismemberment.
Wait, no, please, God, no, don't cut off my...
All right, these are the Blu-ray titles for January 30th, 2018. And we had a few that were pushed. I just recognized these from previous dismemberments. We had a Cat O' Tails, Hack-O-Lantern, and Reanimator, that nice Arrow Reanimator. They showed up this week as well, so I don't know if they got pushed or there's some kind of re-release going on. They probably got pushed, but I'm not going to talk about those because we had already covered them in past episodes. So the new ones this week are Class of 1999. That's not dated at all. This one was from 1990. It's a Lionsgate release, and was directed by Mark L. Lester, starring Bradley Gregg, Tracy Lind, and our favorite Malcolm McDowell.
And by the way, that Mark Lester is not the one that played Oliver, by the way. It's the director.
This is Mark L. Lester, yeah.
But so is now... I'm looking at his IMDb, and apparently he did something Class of '84, and he was the executive producer on that. So I assume that's the same series of movies, and I guess he went from producer now to directing
I have no clue.
the second one.
But this is the synopsis on this one is: robot teachers have been secretly placed in the schools where the students have run riot.
Yeah.
The teachers do a good job of controlling the unruly youngsters until they go too far, and some students get suspicious.
Interesting.
That's a strange premise for a movie, but
yeah, it almost sounds like that reminds me of remember The Faculty?
yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Is the Faculty, but this one does have a commentary, interviews, trailer, and still gallery. So I don't know. That one doesn't sound like super horror-y to me, but I'll have to check
I mean
it
the
out.
box art kind of looks like almost like sci-fi actually if you look at the box art for it. But
Now the next one, speaking of box art, I never saw this movie, but the box art to this always freaked me out.
yeah,
And I always remembered seeing this movie, and it is Gothic from 1986. And if you recall the box art, you need to go look it up. It's like this weird little, like, what do you call it? Satyr, like fawn.
oh that little guy, yeah,
the little
right?
goat people, like. I guess he's a goat person. I don't know. I don't know what they call him.
The little goat person.
The little goat people that sit on your bed and like, I don't know. He's some kind of.
Oh my god! Now they're in my bedroom. What's going on? I was hoping I would just maybe they'd
Hang on,
just hang out on a
this
farm.
thing up. I hope I'm not
And
just
in-
making this up off the top of my
No,
head.
I remember. No, I know the guy's face. I could see it right now. I remember that like face. It's just funny. Like I don't know. I never took him as a goat, and definitely not coming into my house. But
Well, I guess he's not a
Tim's
goat.
now giving me a nightmare.
Okay, now that I see the actual box art, I don't think he's a goat. He's just like a weird looking little guy. For some reason, I thought he had goat
I'm sure
legs.
he's relieved now that you don't think he's a goat anymore.
For some reason, I could have swore he had like fawn legs, but he doesn't. He's just a little creepy guy sitting on this woman's bed.
Yeah, I think you could usually see them hanging around Times Square in Manhattan, but I don't know. But yeah, now now you got me thinking of what the heck those are called. Because I remember there was a story. I remember that Pan.
Yeah,
Like that Pan. He's half goat and he's half man, and it had that whole song. That's what I'm thinking of now. But I don't. Yeah, and he was half goat.
Yeah, I call them fawns or something. Like you want to call them fawn, but that's like a baby deer, right?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna look up half goat, half man, and see what this is.
I bet your Google history is really interesting.
Oh my god, I know. Just from this podcast alone, I'm on a list. I guarantee you. Some of the stuff I looked up on based on this. Here, half goat, half man.
satire.
That came up before I did it. Oh yeah, you're right. Satire, not a satire. Or it also says similar creatures. Faun. Oh no, see Faun.
Ah, see,
So you were right.
There you go.
It says so similar creatures: faun, minotaur, centaur, harpy, and siren.
See, I'm
And
not as crazy as you think, guys.
No,
think I am.
you know your legendary creature group very well. I have to say.
It doesn't change the fact that this box art I remember so well is not the creature that I just remembered. So
No, it wasn't, but it's okay. maybe we're thinking of another movie altogether then.
no, the box art is what I remember. I just for some
it is?
reason
Okay.
my mind implanted goat legs on this thing. I don't know what sick, twisted reason I have for like transferring goat legs onto VHS box art I have, but that's what I do.
That you may want to talk to someone about that, but this time.
But anyway, he looks like he's about to do something evil to this poor woman that's laid out.
I bet she called him a goat too, and that's why he's like.
Well,
now
she looks like
he's
she's
now
about to
after her.
fall off the bed. Her head's like all the way over. He's kind of like crouching on her stomach.
Yeah, he is creepy. Like, yeah, I remember, and that's like one of those box arts that stay with you over the years, whether you've seen the movie or not. It like almost to the point of where you think you've seen the movie because you've seen the box art so much.
Yeah, but it was directed by Ken Russell, starring Gabriel Byrne, Julian Sands he was from Warlock, right?
Yeah. So it's got some good, some horror cred in this movie.
Natasha
actually.
Richardson. The Shelleys visit Lord Byron and compete to write a horror story.
Now you gotta, Tim. Seriously, you gotta be shorter with these synopses. I mean, really,
these synopses are terrible this week. They're like,
I know,
people just got lazy, I guess.
They do.
I'm gonna start writing my own, even if I don't even know what the movie's about. I'm just gonna make up stuff.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the next one. Even our good friends at Vinegar Syndrome let us down with the next one. It's a short synopsis.
We'll just base it off the box art, and I'll be like, half goat man purchase a top lady.
Yeah, half goat man or satire or fawn or or senator or minotaur. We're not sure.
Or succubus or incubus.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a
Calibus. Oh no, Calibus was Clash of the Titans, right? That was the guy. Calibus. It's the guy. Yeah.
Oh god, I love.
Boy,
Clash
Tim and I
of
are
the
getting super nerdy here out of this.
Yeah, we'll have to
As
do,
if you didn't know.
God, I almost want to do Clash of the Titans. It's not a horror movie, but it scared
I
the
know.
crap out of me.
You know what? We joked about this was it 2 weeks ago where we said we would do off topic. Maybe we should throw in a couple times a year some off topic movies that we just love anyway. Throw in there that like that. You know, like Clash of Titans would be a perfect one. I lived for watching that movie as a kid. I watched that every time. When it was on HBO, you could not turn it off if I saw it come on. I loved that movie.
Yeah. That would be a great idea. I think, if you guys want to see off topics, let us know. Like, hit us up on Twitter or Facebook and go, I want off topics.
Yeah. You
Or
won't
if
even
you-
have to.
If you think
won't
our
even have to
episodes,
pay for it.
Yeah, if you think our episodes are off topic enough as it is.
Yeah, that's true. We went to mythical creatures for a while. Yeah, that was really well done.
Yeah,
All because of a dismemberment.
I need to watch this movie because I remember the box art so vividly, and I never got around to watching it. I want to see what this little weird guy is.
Yeah, and you have to see how not goat he is.
Yeah. All right. Now this one sounds right up my alley. This is another.
Well, it's got our famous AKA.
Yeah, it's got an
in the
AKA.
titles.
It's 1978. Lucifer's Women, AKA Dr. Dracula. And
okay.
it's directed by Paul Aratow and Al Adamson.
That does sound made up. These people are not real.
No, John.
This is like one guy that decided to split his personality so he could hide the fact that he did this movie.
Well, it stars John Carradine, Don Red Barry. I like how
because we need to know him. Yeah,
like it's like, oh, is that Don Barry? No. This is Don Red Barry.
Red Barry. Yeah,
And Larry Hankin.
yeah.
I like that.
I think
name.
it'd be funny if it was Red Berry, but no, it's Red.
I like
Barry.
Larry Hankin. That sounds like
Yeah.
a guy that works. I tell you who does good work on carburetors is Larry Hankin down at. Yeah.
He also sounds like one of those outer characters from Seinfeld. You know, that would be on like the Jerry and George would know from like their elementary school or something.
Oh
You know?
yeah, Larry Hankin. Yeah, from
Yeah,
third
yeah.
grade.
You know who I saw today? Larry Hankin. I hated that guy, Jerry. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it'd be something like that's what he's like. Boy, talk about off topic.
God, poor Larry
I didn't think we
Hankin.
could go further off at this
Yeah.
point. We just did.
Oh, okay. So the synopsis: an evil hypnotist. Aren't they all evil? Aren't all
They
evil
are.
hypnotists evil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, anytime you play with someone's mind, there's a bit of evil. I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
There's no way to say that you're doing it for good.
An evil hypnotist puts a beautiful woman under his spell.
Now, I already have an issue. He picks one beautiful woman, but it's Lucifer's women? What happened to the other ones?
That's
You
right.
see?
And is
No,
he a
nice.
vampire? Is he Dr. Dracula?
Exactly. You see, that's what Civil Gore does for you. We ask those questions that
Tough question.
you could only ponder and then try and get out of your head completely. We go that extra distance and ask.
Yeah, this one has a 2K restoration, a commentary, and an interview. So yeah, the next one up is this is an entertaining week actually.
Yeah, this one.
This one is called The Projected Man.
Now, do you have to go like the projected man?
Probably I should have done that.
Yeah.
These names are cracking me up tonight. I swear I'm not drunk. I've had one beer.
Yeah,
I've had one beer.
I'm already looking at it. I'm already like between the directors and the actors.
Yeah, I'm just in a silly mood. I don't know why, but anyway, it's from 1966. This is a Shout Factory release.
Okay, so at least there's some good things about
What's
it.
all these double directing people?
I
Like,
know.
one guy do half of it, the other guy finished it because he got fired.
Wait till we get into that about our feature tonight and talk about directors.
Oh my god!
'Cause
Yeah.
yeah, that one's got an interesting tale to it. But
But anyway, so this one was directed by Ian Curtis, John Croydon, and it's I don't know. Stories Mary Peach.
She's a peach, I tell you, a real peach.
I don't know why that name strikes me as funny. It's not that funny, but
Mary Peach is hilarious. Anytime someone's name's fruit, like if it's John Pear, I mean, it's funny. You know, like anyone with fruit as a name is funny. Yeah.
Bryant Halliday and Normal Woolen.
That one, I knew I was not gonna be a whole month. Normal? Who name? Like I can't imagine. Like I could just see this thing. The parents one night.
I think this.
What should we
it's got to
name
be
our
a typo,
child?
right? Is that got to be a typo? Is that
maybe
Norman?
because what would you because what would you do? Because I can't imagine that. Like the parents like, well, what should we name the kid? How about like Fitus? No, let's name him something normal. All right. I mean, normal's pretty unusual, but we'll name him Normal.
Maybe say like a third eye growing out of his forehead. You know, if we
I know.
Sometimes you have to grow into your name.
Maybe it's ironic. You're right. I'd be so disappointed.
Okay,
if it
that
really
was a
is
typo
Norman.
on my part. It's Norman.
Ah.
It's Norman. That was a typo. in the rundown.
No, he's normal to us now.
I'm
Normal
sorry, Norman,
Hooland.
if you're still alive. But anyway.
Something tells me even if he was, he would never let us know.
Oh, and it's not actually Mary Peach. It's actually Mary Kiwi Fruit.
That's
Another typo. Sorry about that.
good.
Yeah.
Oh,
But anyway,
and it's not it's I forget it.
Bryant
Say
Halliday. That sounds like the evil department store tycoon.
It does, yes. Like in like with like that like it tries to swindle the department store away from Estelle Getty, right? It's like,
Yeah. It's Bryant Halliday from Halliday Industries.
yeah. Ugh.
But anyway, this one is about a scientist experimenting with I can't get through these.
Yeah, this is
A scientist experimenting with matter transmission from place to place by means of a laser beam suddenly decides to use himself as a test specimen. How do you suddenly decide to use yourself as a test
I know, when you go like, I can't find anything, here I am! And he just jumps in the way of it. I don't know.
But the process goes awry, and one side of his body becomes hideously deformed and instantly lethal to anyone it touches.
Okay, why?
But just one side. That's cool.
Why? Yeah, but why though? Like, why has he become lethal? What do they mean? Does it like kill, or is it like you just touch him and it's like operation, and you get like shocked or something? That's what I want to know. Now I have to see this.
I know. That's why these synopsises are so good. Synopsises are so good because they give you just enough to put the hook in, set the hook, and then they reel you in.
Yeah, because I mean,
It's
so far
brilliant.
now we got to see that. We got to see the crazy little goat boy running around, and now this guy that's like walking around like half electrocutes people or something. I got to see this.
And why is he the projected man? Oh, I get it, because he's matter transmission.
He's trend through. It's like Mike TV, like gone wrong, right?
Or like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly.
Oh, right. Yeah, but that's what I think of. It's like Brundlefly. It's like
Brundlefly, yeah.
he's
that'd be a good one.
And
to do,
I like how
actually.
you have not corrected it yet, so I'm still staring at Normal Wooland.
I'm gonna leave it like that.
No, you should, because he's normal to us.
The next one up is Eaten Alive, but this is not the Toby Hooper one. This
No,
is
it is not.
Yeah, this is a different Eaten Alive from 1980, released by Mangiare TV.
I know. I like how you put the exclamation point.
The exclamation point was in the description.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't add that? Oh, I thought
No,
that
it was in there. It was like
added.
Mangiare TV.
Oh, okay. All right.
Directed by Umberto Lenzi.
There we go with our bad Italian accents insulting.
Starring Robert Kerman. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Now, is that like, hey, this is Kermit the Frog?
And then we
That's
have
all I could think of.
Janet Agron, which sounds like to me it sounds like a headache medicine.
Yeah, it does. Like
Agron
little
PM.
Yellow. Agron. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Agron.
And then Ivan Rassimov.
Yeah, he's got to be the villain, right?
Yeah.
Just with that name. Yeah.
Oh,
Either
so
that
now
or
you're being racist towards Russian people.
No, it's
all
just they
Russians are
always make-
villains now.
It's 1980. They were all villains in that time period. I'm looking at the year only. I'm just going with what was back then, you know?
All right. A young woman teams up with an adventurer to find her missing sister in the jungles of New Guinea, and they stumble upon a religious cult led by a deranged preacher whom has located his commune in an area inhabited by cannibals.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, it's a cannibal movie, man. It's
Yeah.
a. I'll tell you what. There's a movie I'm still afraid to watch. There's one horror movie I'm still afraid to watch, and that is Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh,
And I know I'm a bad horror fan for not watching that, but I can't deal with the animal cruelty stuff in there.
Yeah. No, I don't think I've seen. I think I've seen clips of it. I don't think I've seen the whole thing. I just don't have a desire for that kind of stuff either. You know, like you said, with the cruelty to animals and all. Yeah.
Well, I started watching it, and I got to the first scene where they're like stabbing this poor little rodent thing. I don't know what it was, but it's real life. They're really killing it on screen, and I had to turn it off. I can't do this. I've heard there's a cut. The Shudder one is actually the fully uncut version. I think there is an edit of the film that takes out all the animal cruelty stuff, which is what I would watch that, no problem.
Yeah.
But I can't do like real animals getting killed like on screen. That doesn't interest me at all.
No, I don't even like fake animals. Like even the Fly 2. Remember when the dog doesn't make it? Oh,
yeah.
God,
I can't. I just can't do that.
Yeah.
Which I'm a little disturbed because I've heard one of the Paul Naschy films has like a scene that has some kind of animal thing on it that I'm gonna have to look up beforehand so I can like skip past that part because I can't do that. But anyway, this one has a 2K remaster, interviews, and a feature documentary. So I've actually heard of this one before. It's kind of I've heard it in the list of cannibal movies type thing. So
yeah, but on this one I would give it a shot though. This sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I like how I want to see how they stumble upon it.
Yeah,
in the middle of jungles of New Guinea, it's like, what do you? Yeah, you're heading to Walmart. Oops, nope, sorry. There's a religious cult instead.
Tripped over.
Like, what else do you think you're gonna find in there? For God's sake, you know. There's only so many things you're gonna find in the jungles of New Guinea. I'm sorry.
And they're all start with cannibals.
Yeah. Yeah. So if someone tells you, "Let's go eat," no, not there.
Yeah.
Pack a lunch.
Yeah, like what's the old joke? What did the cannibal say after eating the clown?
Oh yeah, this
tastes funny.
Tastes funny, yeah. Does this take funny? Yeah. Okay, we went there.
Enough cannibal humor.
Yeah, let's go.
So on to our main feature tonight, which was the movie Curtains, and of course this stars Meredith Baxter Birney and Judith Light as two competing interior decorators in a small town in New Hampshire. And a big-time corporate interior decorator, played by Miss Meryl Streep, moves in, and
his name is Halliday. No,
yeah, her name's Halliday.
Wrong movie.
No, wait a minute. This is wrong Curtains. Sorry.
Yeah, you got the wrong one.
Sorry, this is the
you
horror.
You got the one that was on the Hallmark Channel, sponsored by Filene's Basement.
Oh, dang it! All right, hang on.
Right,
okay, I got my papers mixed.
Yeah.
I got my papers mixed up. Sorry about that, folks.
Yeah, now we know what Tim's secret backlog project is. What he watches.
Yeah, that was I pulled that one off my Hallmark Channel shelf. Dang it! I always get those mixed up. Anyway, this one is directed by Richard Kupka.
I think it's Kuka. It's like spelled so weird, and I just watched the documentary on it, and they said his name, and it's a Chuka. It's like Chuka. It's very strange how to pronounce it. I'm not even gonna try it anymore because I was like, it was funny when I was watching the documentary. I'm like, all right, oh good, that's how you say his name, but I still did not say it right, probably. So I apologize to the poor man. He's been through a lot, basically. When I watched this documentary, what he went through with this movie.
Yeah,
but
he's listed as Jonathan Stryker.
Yes,
that's cool.
Which is because here's the thing on that. That's John Vernon's character in the movie. The director in the movie, basically, they credit him to that because apparently he did the movie. I guess in the first cut to this thing came up to like 45 minutes. So I guess he thought it was just being scrapped. This is the part of the documentary I seem to like. I don't know if I just missed it or what. I gotta watch it again. But so supposedly he gets a tape in the mail. Like, I think 3 years after the fact of that he filmed this thing, and he puts it in, and it's his movie, Curtains, and he's like, what? And he basically, so he calls up the guy that sent it. He goes, yeah, well, we need you to sign off on the changes on it so we can put your name on the director credit. And he's like, no. He goes, I don't know what this is anymore. Because he said there was all new scenes that he didn't know about. He didn't, all new story like a plot point that changed completely. So he's like, I don't want to sign off on this. So that's how they ended up. So they just decided instead of him getting actual credit, they listed the credit as the character directing it, which actually to me kind of works in a really cool way for this movie.
It's kind of a meta type thing, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like they have that Richard Smithy when they'll use when a director doesn't want to put his name to something if they edit it too much or they're just embarrassed by it, they use that guy. Or is Richard Smithy, Jonathan Smithy? What's the
something like is Smithy for sure? I can't remember.
Smithy, yeah. It's I apologize if I don't get the name right, but yeah. So it's kind of like that, and So basically, it's kind of funny how he ended up with the main character got the name for.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one stars John Vernon, Samantha Eggar, Linda Thompson, Anna Ditchburn, Lynn Griffin, Sandy Curry from Terror Train.
Yes, so we've done an accidental back-to-back Sandy Curry.
Yeah, and Leslie Donaldson. And I'll just
Lynn Griffin, by the way, she was in Black Christmas, by the way.
Oh yeah,
another nice connection. So
I'll go ahead and read the synopsis since we probably won't go scene by scene. We'll just kind of give our thoughts on this one, but because it's definitely well worth watching. It's on Amazon Prime right now. It's really really good.
Yeah, and it actually has a decent mystery to it. So I don't want to give it. Yeah, I don't want to go too spoiler heavy for it because it's actually really enjoyable to figure out the different twists in this because it does work on. And actually, some of the actors even said it in the documentary. There's some sequences very Hitchcockian. That's a real word, where there's a lot of psychological stuff going on. So it's not your typical slasher, although it has some great slasher scenes and possibly one of easily my top scenes that has still to this day creeps me the hell out. Mm-hmm. Which we can go into that scene technically if we want.
Yeah, we can point out particular scenes we liked. But the synopsis, and this is actually a really good synopsis.
This was one of the good ones on IMDb I found.
Samantha Sherwood has worked with the well-known director Jonathan Stryker on all his major films. She naturally assumes she has been given the title role in his latest venture, Audra. He tells her that she needs to do some background research on the part, so arranges to have her committed to an asylum, as Audra is a former psychiatric patient. She goes along with this, not really realizing that he intends to leave her there indefinitely and audition 6 young women of various professions for the part instead. She finally manages to escape and returns to the spooky old mansion where the auditions are taking place. But who is causing the disappearances of the young hopefuls? Is it Samantha, Stryker, or is one of the actresses willing to kill for the coveted part? Just who is the killer behind the old hag mask? And the mask is really creepy in this one. It's really, really good.
That is probably, I would say, out of all the masks we've seen in horror films, I mean, let's put it this way. Jason's mask, cool. Not really a scary thing. It's a hockey mask, right? We've seen it. Mm-hmm. Michael Myers' mask is kind of, is really kind of scary looking, but, once it's William Shatner and then what they've done to it in the sequels ended up, like, kind of taking away some of the fear to it. And all those, like Leatherface, obviously, that's just more creepy, but I tell you, I defy you to find one that is scarier, technically, than this mask. This thing is creepy. It's like this old woman mask.
Mm-hmm. It's really good.
Yeah, and actually, that another thing I learned, picked up in the documentary, they did not want it to be a mask. It was supposed to be the killer was supposed to be actually in makeup, like stage makeup, not a mask. But they didn't. They basically said none of the people wanted to do it, so they basically changed it to a mask. The guy says, "All right," he goes, "I had to make a mask out of it," and I gotta tell you, it works because that thing is, oh my god, is that thing creepy? And in fact, that's what got me to want to see this movie. It was back when it was on HBO when I first had cable as a kid, and they would show the commercial for this, and they'd show that iconic skating sequence, which is the one I was telling you, with it's still one of the scariest sequences I've seen. And they kept showing that, and that's how it ended with the old lady mask skating slowly towards the camera, and then it would be like curtains, tonight on HBO, and I'm like, oh my god, I got to see this thing. This is creepy as hell. I got to see this, and I had seen it from back then, and I've just always loved it, and I was so glad when I finally saw it. Like I had a VHS copy of it for years, and I was so glad when in 2014 they actually came out with that really good Blu-ray version.
Yeah, well, I mean, to tell you how good that mask is, there's several of the scenes, like the ice skating scene, takes place in broad daylight.
Yeah.
And there's a scene actually where one of the director is actually making one of the women wear the mask.
Yeah, so it's like it's not like you like it, which adds to the mystery because you don't know whose mask it really is because it's not supposed to be out of place because it's literally in his house as one of his props.
Right, but it takes that scene as well. It takes place like close up daylight, full bright light, close up, and the mask still looks really good, like really scary. A lot of times they hide the flaws, with in the shadows. You have everything takes place in the dark, and you can hide a lot of flaws like that. I mean, it takes some courage to throw a mask out there like this and not have it come off looking like cheesy or dumb or like literally like somebody in a mask. It looks like somebody in a mask, but it's still scary.
Yeah, it is. Like, I'm telling you that if there is one scene to watch in this movie, like, you have to watch it just for that. But the creepy doll in the beginning, I mean, that's creepy enough, that little doll that goes on. But
like a doll's eyes.
Yeah, like a doll. I knew you were going to say, when we were watching this, I'm like, oh, God, this is going to give Tim his doll's eye, like, quote again. But, that sequence where when you first see her, like, off in the distance, like, skating up to she's skating there, and you see the old lady mask, like, skating towards you. Like, you're like, oh, my God, that is so, and it's in slow motion. Mm-hmm. And then it's just like, holy cow, that is creepy, and it's like, I think the final, I guess technically, if you want to call it the final girl sequence, whatever, that whole chase in the stage area is pretty well done. And that has a huge, which I'm not going to say, but a huge surprise to it, I think, where you don't expect to happen. It did a lot of good stuff and it probably doesn't get credit for a lot that it did. And it's funny, it became a big cult classic, and that's why I love the this isn't a Scream Factory release. It's just a really good special edition, and that's why some of the documentaries are so good on this, because you really get the actors and actresses go into it in there, where they tell you, like, just some of the stuff, like the girl that played the skater in it was saying, like, people approached her years later and, like, she was floored when they said that, oh yeah, no, that skating scene is iconic, and she's like, really, that? It's like, but in terms of horror things, that's one I never got out of my head, and before I even saw it years later, I had the exact image. How some things over time will, like, alter your memory, your perception of it.
You might think a guy has goat legs. It doesn't.
Yeah, like you might think, like a poor little deformed man is a goat, but no, he's not. And this, I remembered it exactly the way I saw it. When I saw it years later, it was the same effect on me. So it's like it just shows how well that was done.
Yeah, one thing I really liked about it is that there's parts that are like familiar that you've seen in other movies before, but the way they're pulled off in this, like for example, the idea of gathering everybody into one mansion,
right,
for some purpose, and then they get picked off one by one. We've seen that many times before, but in a horror movie like this, for some reason, it feels fresh and different. I don't know how to explain that. Like it feels both familiar and new at the same time.
Right. Well, because I think there's really not like, there's not really much of like the backstory, basically what you think, there's no way to really assume anything in this, I think, and that's what it usually knows. I think you kind of, there's like this big setup of like the movie will open with like someone being completely wrong. I mean, yes, this girl, she goes into the aside, but she goes in willingly, even though at the same time, yes, he kind of leaves her there indefinitely, but throughout the movie, you don't know if now he did do it intentionally, if he did it just to test her. There's a lot of mind games going on through this, which is what's pretty cool about it. It's always, this movie's kind of always keeping you on your toes. It never really slows to where you're like, all right, already, come on, let's move on. I mean, it's, and so I think that's part of it. But also remember, this took 3 years for it to be released. It started to be created in 1980, right in the middle of, of all that big horror resurgence. So, but it took, with all the trouble it had and the reshoots and like they shot things like, I think 2 or 3 years after it started.
Wow.
So it was like, yeah, and there were scenes that they reshot that they ended up not even using in the end, like one of the sequences with actually the skater girl is funny. She was featured a lot in the documentary. They, there was a sequence where they did a whole thing of like a flashback to why she was the way she was when she got to the mansion, because they did this flashback where she was in college and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that they ended up reshooting and cutting out. So basically this took 3 years to make this movie, and you would not think that a movie like this, which is, is why, it's got some really cool elements, very simplistic at the same time. So the fact that this thing was 3 years to make, it's like a lot of this stuff, like, it was like duplicated, but really it's like at the same time, this may have invented some of it, It's like, because it was back in 80, before, like, when all this stuff was kind of, some of these familiar horror tropes were first being done.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that, like Brian said, you would never know that this movie had that many issues in production, because it comes off as like a really solid early 80s slasher movie.
Yeah, it's just enjoyable, and it's one of those ones that, it got a cult following now, but there's probably so many people that have not heard of it. They're like, what do you mean curtains? And it's like, and it's got a great box art. I mean, in terms of Brian and Tim box art, this one, to me, I love it. Where it has the like the creepy, like, a version of that creepy mask with a doll kind of coming out of the curtains from its mouth.
Yeah, it incorporates a lot of elements from the film. Like, it's like what the old comic books used to do. It doesn't give you an accurate representation of what happens in the movie, but it incorporates elements from the story and smashes them all together in one really cool cover. So yeah,
right. And it's got a great tagline where it says, "Behind every curtain, someone is waiting. Something is watching." So, it kind of gives you that, okay, that's like a slasher kind of tagline, but it's more than just a typical slasher, which is good. And then, then it says curtains, the ultimate nightmare as the thing. So it's just really like just a great 80s horror movie. It goes right along that to me, it's right up there, like Tim said with Terror Train. It's like one of those, maybe like, it's not known as much as it should be, and it's not, maybe people just passed it off because they didn't know what it was. But so now that's what Civil Gore is doing for you.
Yeah, I had not seen it, and I've seen a lot of those early 80s movies, but for some reason this one kind of slipped by me, and I think it clocks in like a spry 80 minutes or so. I think it's only like an hour and 20. So if you want to, definitely worth checking out, because it's not a big time investment either. It's just a quick little film, and it's greatly, like Brian was saying, it's quickly paced. You're not going to get bored with it. Very creepy. I really enjoyed this one. I definitely will pick up the Blu-ray at some point.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pull a Tim here, and actually I think I'm gonna rewatch this again now with I've never watched it with the commentary now, and I think I should probably I think I'm gonna have to do that, because I watched the 2 documentaries on there. I think there is an alternate audio track on this, which it says with vintage interviews. So I'm not sure if that goes throughout the movie, like I think along maybe with the commentary, or a separate commentary. So maybe 2 commentaries technically on this. But yeah, it's definitely worth watching, because based on the little documentary I saw, it seems like the people had so many fun stories to share about this movie, and the people that do the commentary actually is Leslie Donaldson and Lynn Griffin. That's the skater and the stand-up comic, basically, from the movie when you see it. So, but actually, the alternate audio track has Samantha Eggar, which is the main, that main actress in it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I always enjoy obviously through the Backlog Project, I've watched a lot of commentaries, and the ones that feature the actors are always a lot of fun, typically because they have the stories from the set. They weren't as consumed with the working as the directors were. The directors, a lot of time, the director commentary goes into, well, why did I choose this shot, and why did I choose that shot?
Yeah, it's like them lamenting the whole time.
Yeah, but you get a lot of the technical side from the director's point of view, but the actors, you kind of get more of the on-set experience. So those commentaries tend to be typically a little more lively, or a little funnier, that kind of thing.
Well, you saw that Goonies one they did, right? Where it's literally they cut back, and you can see like the little picture-in-picture of them, the video of them all together doing the commentary on it.
I would love to see that.
It was on the Goonies. I think it's the original Goonies DVD release had it. I assume the Blu-ray has it also. I think it was, it was transferred over, just an upgrade. But so I got that big box set with the Goonies board game in it and everything. Because
cool.
Because I'm a sucker for anything like. Kind of, any of those.
Well, it all comes back to Sean Astin in the end,
It does.
Everything comes back to Sean Astin.
So anyway, we need to get Tim there.
Oh gosh, that'd be so awesome. I loved your beer pairing this week.
Yeah, so I was trying to find something like I kind of knew I was going to be a little off on this. Like I wasn't going to find Curtains beer, or something like that. And so I went ice skating. I figured I was going to have to stretch for a scene. So, and I get this is where the documentary comes in because I think they mentioned that it was an old hag mask. So I'm like, oh, old hag. And now I knew there was a sea hag beer from Sebago, I believe. But so I Googled Old Hag, and sure enough, in Tim's home state of North Carolina, Huntersville, North Carolina, there's a brewery called Primal, and they have a Old Hag Ginger Snap Ale. And so that it sounds delicious, by the way. It's an amber ale with aromas of ginger and vanilla, so it's a perfect, like, wintry beer. So, and this obviously takes place in the snow, so it's got that winter feel, and we're doing it winter time, so it ended up being a great beer pairing, actually, in the end.
Yeah, and actually looking up this brewery, I've never had any of their stuff, but they have some really cool looking beers. They have a Pumpalicious Pumpkin Ale.
Yeah, they do.
They have
actually.
a Grim Creeper Imperial IPA.
Ooh, that could be a future beer pairing.
Yeah, they have some really, really cool stuff on here. I like the artwork.
Yeah, no, I was looking at the brewery. I'm like, I was telling Julie, I'm like, we gotta go. We might have to go to this brewery next time we go visit Tim and Olivia. We need to go to make sure we try and hit this place because this is. I see that to me. This is one of my. First of all, Julie and I love going to visit new breweries. We always love discovering new craft beers. We're never not willing to try something. Like we get like a can of something. If something looks cool or something sounds great, and so it's like, anytime. That's what my favorite thing about this beer pairing thing is. I found about 6 breweries on here that are earmarked on my list of future breweries to try, just because I found it just like in research, whether I chose it or not for the beer pairing. Just discovered it. Like there's one Bissell Brothers in Maine that I'm just dying to go to now because of just the way it looks and everything, and so it's pretty cool.
I'll tell you, in North Carolina, there's plenty of really great craft beer down here, so you could definitely make a tour of it for sure.
You just have too many other cool things, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to really like pick and choose. You got some great roller coasters down there. You got great beer pairings, you got food, donuts. I mean, what else?
Yep. So the trivia question for last week, if you recall, we threw you guys a softball this time. So we said, what 2 movies combined were said to inspire the plot to Terror Train?
And it was the 2 movies Tim watched in his horror pack: Blood,
what
was it? Zombie Diaries 2, and Vibe. No, I'm like,
no. The first one obviously was Halloween.
Yeah,
you got Jamie Lee Curtis in there. So yeah, the guy basically, the director said, I thought of Halloween on a train, and the movie he was getting the train inspiration from was Silver Streak, the great Silver Streak with Gene Wilder.
I love that movie.
Yeah, great movie.
Another classic. That could be a potential off-topic title.
Yeah, he had just watched it, so he was just kind of mashing 2 ideas together, and that's what he came up with. So that one you could have probably guessed if you'd thought about it long enough, because there's not that many great train movies to me.
That tight style with is like the train is like hurtling towards
exactly.
Something, and
this week's trivia, Brian was a little doubtful about this one, but I really like this one. I think this one's cool.
It got the Tim seal of approval.
Got the seal of approval. So this week's trivia is, what band had a song not only inspired by the movie Curtains, but used a sample from it? Name the band and the song.
Yeah, this was, and it turned out I read a little bit about this band. It's probably one of the lead singers was it was one of his favorite movies.
Yeah, I think it's. So. I love when bands do songs about like horror movies or pop culture or something, or they just take something they really love and make a song around it.
Yeah. And
you find out later that that's what the inspiration was, and you kind of look back through the lyrics and go, oh, okay, I see what they're referencing there. I always thought that's kind of cool. So
yeah, and this one, when you do get the answer to it, or we give you the answer if you can't find it, this will be like, it is pretty cool. And actually, I'm gonna look this up. I didn't get a chance yet, but I think I'm gonna look up this band and the song and see if I can pick, because there is some good music in Curtains, good score to it. It's like very it's almost like very calming. Like it almost kind of reminds me of like that one main score going through it. It's like the ending of Friday the 13th. Which is at the lake. That kind of like it's something you wouldn't expect in a horror film, basically.
Yeah.
Type of tune. Something you see on like a soap opera. Like, these are the days of our lives.
Yeah. I kind of like too when. Speaking of that, I had touched on Cannibal Holocaust earlier, that the soundtrack for that film is just really strange. Like it's kind of got that same like beautiful melody, which is so doesn't match the horror that you're watching, so it's kind of a weird juxtaposition. I like when movies do that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, no, it's kind of throws you off there.
Yeah, so next week we really didn't know what we were going to do, and then Brian came up with a brilliant suggestion because our next episode will fall on Groundhog Day. So we will be doing Bill Murray's Groundhog Day. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
I would love to do an episode on that movie, but we can't because it's not horror.
No.
But no, we're going to do Happy Death Day because it's basically Groundhog Day horror style.
Yes.
So, and I know we touched on that quite a bit when it came out theatrically, and we kind of gave our reviews and impressions, but this will be our chance to do a full spoiler episode and kind of go into detail about it. So that'll be fun. And I want to rewatch it anyway because it's been, obviously I haven't seen it since the theatrical release. So
yes, and I did rewatch it as I got it on Blu-ray, and it's fun to watch it. Jessica Roth is really good. Like, she's so perfect for that role. Like, I don't think they could have cast that movie any better.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it again. I need to pick up the Blu-ray, which you guys have no excuse to not pick up the Blu-ray and watch it before next week. So
yeah, and I think it's been on digital even for a couple of weeks before that. So you should have this by now. If you haven't seen it yet, it's definitely one of the better horror movies that came out in the last couple of years. It's definitely a really fun one to watch. It's like the perfect type of fun mix of horror movies that kind of does a little twist to the usual thing. It took a formula that's been used in different ways, but they did it in a style that's really entertaining.
As you guys know, we're always quick to respond on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Instagram. So hit us up on all those social platforms if you want to talk or give us suggestions on movies to do or criticisms or whatever you have. One thing I thought
that might have opened up a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, for
after this
criticism,
episode, yeah, definitely.
I already. Oh my God! Look, we just got 42 emails. Somehow, and we didn't even. This is still recording live. People haven't heard it yet.
Yeah. You know one thing we need to do, Brian? And
yes.
It's kind of hard to do because we're separated, but I think we should do more video stuff.
Yeah.
I think we should do some. I see a lot of podcasts and stuff do the live Instagram videos from time to time. It doesn't have to be a long thing, just a quick, hey guys, blah 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 blah. But just so people can see our faces, our faces which were built for radio.
Oh, totally. Absolutely.
But this is a horror podcast, so
yeah. Well, we do. That's a good thing, though. Even if we are far away, but it's good that we usually get to see each other 3 or 4 times a year, which is pretty impressive considering we're 10 hours away by car and
right.
A few, I think 3.5 hours by flight, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I know that the Busch Gardens thing, even those couple little videos we did got really high views and stuff.
Oh, nice.
So,
yeah. Well, if we definitely when we get to these cons, we need to do more of that. And I got to tell you, Seth was pushing me to do a lot more. He actually filmed a couple that I never actually even sent and aired because I didn't know if they were good or not. But yeah, so that's something we definitely do more. Even if it's just what we need to do? We need to start doing it if we're at a Toys R Us even or something, and we see some cool horror figures or some place where we can just even if it's a quick thing, I see people doing that on Instagram all the time. We really should get. Tim and I are old fogies, we're still not down with the social media stuff as well as
we're
we
trying.
should be.
We're trying.
Yeah, we're trying, but yeah.
Yeah, I think just something to keep in mind for this year. I'm kind of trying to up our social media game, so.
Well, we've already done a bunch of improvements. We've now made our lives our pre-production a lot easier by coming up with some forms and some plan aheads options, which are good. So that's good. And it's just I think we've gotten that part down pat. So it's neat, and everything every year you want to improve. You're going to add more to it. You don't want to stay in pat because what. Listen, as exciting and as energetic as we are, we can see we'll probably get boring after a while. We need to do something else to get them.
Gotta shake it up, yeah.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for our All Golden Girls retrospective.
Yes, where Tim and I say Blanche 100 times on the.
No, we won't shake it up that bad, but.
No, yeah, not that. Well, maybe go to 227 or. Empty Nest, something like that. But,
Empty Nest.
Yeah, there's a good podcast.
Oh
that's
my
just
God.
Been way overdue, right?
The Empty Nest podcast. Jeez.
Well, it's funny because 227 popped into my head because I was watching the Goldbergs the other day. I don't know if you saw the latest episode where he's Adam's not funny anymore to his dad, and like he can't figure out what comedy he likes, and he's watching 227 and he's just cracking up. He goes, "They never get off the stoop," and it's just and he's just cracking up at it. Like, that show is brilliant to me.
Oh my god,
there
probably is an Empty Nest podcast out there somewhere.
Probably is. Yes,
everything's been done at this point.
Yeah, and if not, if there isn't on it, we should probably just take a mulligan.
I just missed my CSI sound effect. Damn it.
Yeah, you need to put that in. That's all. Yeah, we go. It took me all the way to the end of the episode to find something. I said I would find it. I found it.
Yeah, we couldn't get through an episode without a bad pun, but
there it is.
Oh well, almost. We came that close. So close. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you back here next week. Take it easy.
And then next week we'll do Happy Death Day again, and again, and again, and again,
and again.